Hello Booktube, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Marilyn, and today as the sun sets in Hawaii, I've had a very busy day, which is unusual for me. I met a booktuber friend. Her name is Kim from an oasis of books, and we had a wonderful 2-hour talk. I'll have her information down below. We also did a short that I hope you'll see before you see this. And I also gave her a few books that she might talk about in a future video. And the reason I gave her books, not only because I wanted to gift her with something, but because I'm trying to do an unhaul of books that I'm not going to read. Since I turned 75, I realized that many of my books, maybe all of them, will not be read by any of my family. I'm sure they'll be donated. But I just wanted to make that easier as I get older and only keep the books that really speak to me in some way or that I'm going to reread. So I'm doing something today that I've never done before, and that's choose a book for me. I've never done this particular kind of booktube video. So I hope you can help me. And what these books have in common is that something or other kept me from picking them up. Either I read a book that they wrote previously to this book, not previously, but that I read previously, and that maybe I didn't love as much, or it had a genre that I was afraid of. So let's get started. The first book is a famous book by Edith Wharton. I read Edith Wharton's An Age of Innocence, and although I loved it, it was about New York society in the, I think it's the early 19th century, I'm not really sure, but rich people in Manhattan, and that was interesting to me because I'm from New York, but I didn't understand the people that well, and it's a complex book. So I liked it, but it needs to be reread. So I bought Summer, and this is one of the 2 books that she writes about the country. Most of her books I read are city books. So this is a brilliant evocation of a season in the life of a restless small-town girl. And Edith Wharton, like I said, is best known for her insightful portrayals of urban high society in both America and Europe. So 18-year-old Charity Royale feels trapped in her existence in the decaying town of North Dormer, living alone in the stifling company of a much older guardian and under the shadow of a mysterious personal past. One summer afternoon, a charming young architect named Lucas Henry walks into the library, ... and I'm sure the plot ensues from there. And I don't know why, it has a beautiful cover. Why I picked this up and never read it. I'm trying to see where I bought it. Bought it from Barnes & Noble. So if you think that this is well worth me reading, please choose this book for me. The second book is a book that's not new. I bought it at a used bookstore, and it's a classic of modern African literature. It's called Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. And this was written in 1958. Let me show you the cover. And what I wrote down is what it said about it is that it's the theme, shows the complexities of colonialism and Christianity, which there are many books about that, and how both of these things can ruin a First Nation or a tribe. And you can just number off how many books there are on that subject. But this one is special because I think it's because it is about an African book, and also because it was written in 1958. And some people have compared this with a Greek tragedy. So this is set in an Igbo village in what is now Biafra. and the novel vividly recreates pre-Christian tribal life and shows how the coming of the white men led to the breaking up at the old ways. So here we have a story of a strong man whose life is dominated by fear and anger. And so it sounds like a tragedy no matter what would happen, but when you put in this complexities of colonialism, which has torn apart so many countries, you can see why this is going to be a powerful read. One of the things that is said about this book is that it's written with remarkable economy. So it's not bulky, as you can see. I mean, this has, in my book, there's less than 200 pages. So it's still September. Tomorrow's the last day, so I might read this before Shorty September. And it also has subtle irony, which I love irony. So if you think I should read Things Fall Apart, please let me know down in the comments. Now the next book I also bought new, and it's the 60th anniversary edition. And I think that this is science fiction, and it's not a genre that I usually read, but this is famous. This is something by Ray Bradbury called Fahrenheit 451. And I'm sure many of booktubers and just people in general have heard of or read this book. Now, so this is supposed to be in the distant future, but I'm not sure how distant the future is, where the protagonist is a fireman, and his job is to destroy the printed word, the printed book, and the homes in which they are hidden. And the protagonist one day meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of the mindless chatter of television. Now, I want to see when this was first printed, because it seems pretty current to me. So it was written like a year after I was born in 1951. So maybe you can substitute television for social media. And yeah, you tell me what you think. Should I read Fahrenheit 451 more than the others? Please let me know in the comments. And the last book is a book that I bought because it was on sale in Shakespeare and Company in Paris, and I'll show you and I never would have bought this book because it's from the best-selling author of The Girl on the Train, which I read and I did not like, called Paula Hawkins, and this is called Into the Water. And it's really a lovely looking book, but I'm not really into those kind of girl thrillers like Gone Girl, etc. Though I have read them, I really didn't want to read a similar book. But this says that it's a psychological suspense novel set in the fictional English town of Beckford, where a single mother, Nell Abbott, is found dead in the river known as the Drowning Pool. This event brings her estranged sister Jules back to the town she fled, as she must care for her niece Lena, Nell's teenage daughter. So the reason that I had to look it up, because the back blurb I wasn't really liking, because it was very trying to be more than it was. Julia, it's me. I need you to call me back. Please, Julia, it's important. And I thought that was too sensational. But let me know if you like this book. And I did buy it new, and I did buy it in Shakespeare and Company. It was on the table. It wasn't inside the store itself. But I probably will keep this book just because of the Shakespeare stamp, and I know that's very shallow of me, but should I read it? it seems like a pretty long book, or it's big font, large font. Well, it's only 315 pages. It looks like it's more. But if I'm in the mood for a thriller, I like mysteries more than I like thrillers. So those get read more than a thriller would. But let me know, have you read Into the Water? Let me know in the comments. Well, please choose me a book. It's not that I have nothing to read. It's that I'm trying to make my bookcases more accessible, and also keep the books that really speak to me. And maybe one of these will. So thank you for watching this video. I was actually working on another video that Pat from Book Chat with Pat did. It was the mirror and the frame book tag, and I thought that would be easy, but no, it takes a lot of thinking about books and booktubers. So I think I'll do that in, next week or later this week. But anyway, thank you all. As the sun sets in Makaha, my town, I wish you all aloha.